Hello, everybody. Welcome to All Signs. What is shifting in your life right now? What's trying to leave and what is trying to enter? So let go of the past and let the new, basically, for all signs, Aries through Pisces. I'm not doing the Aries through Pisces portion during Wednesdays and Fridays readings. That's on Monday's readings. Monday was a really good set, so make sure you check that out. Hello, Angel, Gigi, the girl, Bernadette, Lisa, what's up? Poetic Justice, how you doing? I'm going to jump right in today and start with Aries at 111 because I'm trying to make Wednesdays a little bit shorter, so hopefully under 2 hours. I'm pulling 5 cards for each card and for each sign, and let's get into it. So it's going to be what is leaving, what is shifting, what is new trying to enter your life, and what is new, especially in love, and what to do, what you should do. All right. So hello, Lori. What's up? All right, Aries. Aries. Let's see. What is the energy right now that is trying to leave your life that you no longer need? And maybe you're already feeling a pull from it. I do see the overall energy here is the Ace of Cups. So it does look like love is trying to enter your life. This could show up through a new friend, new home, new offer, new beginning, reconciling too, trying to reconcile, trying to level up, trying to leave a version of a story behind, especially when it comes to something that fills your heart. Right, and love, relationships, right? So it can, it can even be just what you expect in love too as well. So that's the overall energy. And I see the Knight of Swords. What's trying to leave is relationships that are unintentional. All right, where you just never know what your person's intentions are. Everything seems great, seems it happens fast. We like each other. This person thinks you're great, funny. Everything's moving fast and quickly. And then it seems all of a sudden you start to get frustrated and defensive because now it's like it looked like it was going one way, but then there's no clear direction. I give it a month or so, or after talking so much, things start to slow down, and then you start to question everything. And so maybe you are leaving a version of yourself that gets defensive and gets angry when you're confused or you're tired of assuming or being the one to initiate. Okay, so that energy is leaving because maybe there's a part of you that is afraid that if you stop or slow down, you're going to be left behind. But this is where the goal here is for what's real to come in. So we can't be hanging on or trying to figure out something. And this urgency, this feeling that if you stop moving towards something, you're not going to get something is definitely, you've outgrown this. All right. So what is actually happening right now? And I see the Temperance card. So what you may be feeling right now is you're starting to feel a little bit more steady, or you're noticing that there is a shift. All right. This can be uncomfortable when the Temperance card comes in, because if you're used to moving this quickly, and if you're used to having this sense of urgency and anxiety and this fear that you will be left behind if you don't do something, moving into the Temperance energy, which can seem kind of quiet and chill and more patience, and learning to have more patience and slowing down so that you can break this pattern, can be very uncomfortable because you do have to face the fear that if something you've been so urgently trying to get, right, or to seek, right, if you stop, there's always a fear that this person or this thing that you're after is going to leave, and I have to face that. But also the good news is with the Temperance card that if it's meant to be in your life, once the scales are balanced and things are in moderation and you're not the one always initiating or giving, you're going to notice that if somebody was meant to be in your life, you don't have to be the one to do everything. They will come back around. So this can be an energy that shifts really quickly. you know, over time, you might even notice that it gets easier. I'm not going to be the one to reach out. I'm not going to be the one to do this. So you have Sagittarius energy here, and we do have the Sagittarius full moon coming at the end of the month. So a lot of this could actually be even playing out, and the timing by the end of the month is where things are really going to start to feel like you're not the only one in the game, right? We're working with each other. So what is trying to enter your life? I see a King of Swords. It looks like an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Maybe some of you know Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You know somebody with these characteristics, somebody in authority, somebody who has, you know, their life together, getting their life together. You know, they talk a lot. This person here usually is somebody in a maybe a military position, or somebody that is just a leader and communicator and a teacher, and somebody who looks at things very logically and is very precise and very articulate. So what's trying to enter your life could be relationships, or even just one person who seems to be very honest and truthful, and somebody who doesn't overreact or play emotional games. The problem with this is this kind of person can be a little bit hard to read, especially if you're coming from a situation where you're the one always having to, you know, do everything and be the one to push forward for everything. You have somebody here that's going to be black and white, yes or no. Here's the answer. This is what's happening. This is my truth, you know. And it looks like somebody's trying to enter your life, or versions of relationships that help you expand and help you see the bigger picture. All right. So people, person, one person, or just a kind of person is trying to enter your life. In love specifically, we see the Chariot. So it does look like Spirit is ready to push you forward. It's like, let's go already. Let's get past any of these games and obstacles that we're trying to maneuver through. And this is where this in energy right now that you're feeling kind of maybe in limbo, needing to kind of take a back seat for a minute, or kind of go off to the side and refuel your energy right now, because you're having to make space for this energy that's coming in. So you're chasing, not necessarily chasing, right? Like, I know you're not running after people, but if you're initiating and you're focused and you're constantly going, you know, over and over a situation, this time period right here is saying, let it chill for a second, because things are going to really speed up for you. And I do see possibility of love offer. Now, this can be somebody returning into your life, but on a better version, somebody who's more focused, somebody who's more determined, and somebody who, where there's two of us holding the reins together, there's two of us moving forward. And even though there may be some challenges here, we're still both focused moving forward. We want somewhere to go, right? We want to go in the same direction, basically, right? So it looks as though this big shift that's happening for you is trying to get you in alignment with the purest form of love, and not being the one that is always being pulled back or getting angry, or being the version of you that says yes to you know, to everyone or person, no matter what, right? So that's going out the window, going out the door. So what do you need to do with all this? I see the Three of Pentacles. One of the biggest things, I just said counseling right in my head, you know, getting the help, getting the support, and being around people that truly support you. So one of the way you can help this situation move along is paying attention to the people that are around you. This could be work related. This could be friends and family who actually really do support you and support your causes and are there to help you along the way. All right, knowing right away, if you're the one that's doing all the work, right, that's a big sign here that you may need to pull your energy away. You're going to notice big time. One of the things you can notice is when you start focusing on the people who put forth more effort towards you this week, or especially this week, but going through the rest of the month too. These are the people that are trying to show up in your life. These are the people that Spirit wants you to focus on. You know, God wants you to focus on the people that really care, the teammates, the ones that want to be there for you. All right, because the Three of Pentacles is showing you where you are at right now in your process, and you're a lot further along strong than you think, even though the Temperance card may feel like nothing's moving at times, right? And we're seeing here that what is moving is that's moving out, and you have more supportive people coming in. And you could have a friend or somebody around you, for somebody who's single, this King of Swords here, who may be trying to get into your life, talk to you, get into your head, see you, and work something out with you. But it does require you being aware of who's really supporting your energy. And that's what I have for you. Now you have a Cancer energy, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, and you have a Sagittarius energy for you. And the Ace of Cups, right? So love is definitely trying to enter your life. And that comes in forms of all relationships, people who truly love you. All right, so let's see, Taurus. All right. Happy birthday. I'm waiting for 11/11 for my Tauruses. Oh, I hope you feel better. No flu. Taurus, 11/11. Happy birthday. All right. So what is trying to leave your life and what is trying to enter your life? All right. This has been a big month for you. Big, not just month, season so far for you. So let me say season because we've just started the month, but you've been in your season for a couple weeks. All right. Overall energy, 2 of Cups. So moving and grooving here, it looks like, really trying to connect with people on a deeper level. This is the overall energy, right? So conversations seeming more in depth, more comfortable, feeling heard, feeling seen, feeling present, more grounded. You got this in your reading Monday, I think, where it felt like as you become more comfortable. Remember, the past 8 years have been like a huge disruption for you when it comes to your life, and learning how to be more stable when things are unstable. That's not comfortable for you. So it means things are going to seem more grounded for you right now, but at the same time, you should be able to deal with instability a lot better because of everything that you've been through. So keep that in mind. I mean, you're like, yay, that's great. But here's the thing is like what's shifting the overall energy is a new way of communicating with somebody that you love, and people being a little bit more vulnerable or open to you as well too. So relationships moving and growing and getting closer. All right. So let's see. What is leaving? Hell yeah. All right. And so this is a love pattern. This is, choosing to be stuck and comfortable in a situation and accepting love, what very little you may have been getting. It's a relationship dynamic between maybe several people where you were compromising your own fulfillment and still giving, and no matter what, and compromising, but feeling, disregarded or discontent or unhappy and stuck, and always making other people happy maybe, but not feeling fulfilled yourself. All right. And so this really could have brought you down. This really could have made you feel unimportant, unwanted. Maybe you felt like you gave up a part of your life, and now, you were just sitting there for everybody else to make them happy. And you just never went after what you really wanted. You put everybody first. All right. So I am seeing this is trying to leave your life, and look what's trying to come in. Where have you been been self-sacrificing? Where have you been just staying comfortable because you don't know what's out there, you know, or you didn't know what you really deserved? I think for you, it's more about, you know, even if you're in a relationship right now, this doesn't mean you have to leave a relationship. It means I need to know what I need in a relationship, and I can't just stay comfortable to keep the peace, right? What's trying to come in is love, 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 right? You know, you don't want to feel anymore like you're just living to get by, and that you're not going to turn around and say, I missed all these opportunities because I was too comfortable or stayed put and, you know, kept everybody else around me comfortable while I was the one unhappy and nobody was really even noticing, right? So this is big for you. All right, this is really big. I get so excited for my Tauruses. I do. It's it's your season though. I do this for everybody's birthday season. You just are probably not aware of it until it's your birthday. All right. So what is shifting right now? And look at, things are happening pretty fast for you. Actually, there's a lot of things happening around you, and maybe things are happening a little bit behind the scenes and happening pretty quickly, but you're not quite sure. You don't see it just yet. So this is where, you know, you don't always know what's going on, but this is the energy that is showing up around you, which means that, you know, you may be making quicker decisions or noticing that things are happening faster. Maybe you're feeling like conversations are happening a lot more clearer, a lot more quicker. There's a sense of urgency at times too, but you also, this could be internal for you. You could be feeling some sort of sense of urgency to really speak your mind. Some of you may be actually even finding yourself being more confident, speaking up. And, you know, if you've been holding stuff in for a while, it's going to be hard for you to not speak your truth. It's going to come out and you might even go, where'd that come from? You know, so your voice is really, really getting more clear, more intentional. Maybe you're even starting to be more intentional about what it is you need. All right. So that's the big shift for you. It's like, I'm no longer not speaking my truth or my peace because to make you comfortable, I need to step up. Now, this card also is asking you to do this. It's saying, when you are talking to somebody, don't beat around the bush or try to keep the peace or not say something because you're afraid they may say no, or you're afraid they may not reach back out. Whatever the fear is, let that go. This is saying that you be clear in your intentions. This is what I need. This is what I need from you. And not in a very demanding way. It's a very kind, peaceful way, but it says, this is my intention and I'm very clear about it. So you may be noticing that it's happening naturally for you. All right. What is trying to enter your life? Look at this. You have the Ace of Cups. You have the Ace of Cups, then you have the Two of Cups. And it looks like a new understanding and compassion. And really what I just got in my head was that your person, if there is somebody in your life, or if there are people trying to enter your life, they need to see this side of you, because a lot of people may be reading you as being comfortable and being okay. Because if you give off that vibe, or you were always giving off that vibe that everything's okay, people are going to think everything's okay. Okay. So it's like, I want to say, it's not the time to play cool. It's not the time to, you know, keep the peace, but it's also not the time to create havoc either. So that's not what I'm saying. It's about intentional conversation here about what we truly need, because I think somebody in your life does not understand to the depth of what you're missing. Like, you need that love, you need that reciprocation. And this is what's happening right now with you too. So I do see that love is trying to enter your life. Something you love is trying to enter your life. And again, I keep saying new home, because I always forget that this can represent two: new living situation, new home situation, a new way you address yourself in love. You might even start to notice that you're falling in love with different things that you want to do, finding ways to express yourself outside of love, you know. But what's happening, what's trying to come towards you in love specifically, and you got the Five of Wands. All right. So these challenges that you've been dealing with, you're trying to be, it looks like in love specifically, any kind of conflicts or challenges or any kind of feuds or drama or, you know, not knowing, and you're the one that's always trying to make something happen. This is leaving your life now. Not feeling misunderstood, always fixing things, always doing things for other people, being the one that's always active, being the one that is also, you know, always trying to protect another person and not want to speak your mind because you want to avoid conflict. That is leaving your life. When it comes to love, all right, you cannot continue to, or you can, all right, but with this reading, it's not wise for you to continue in love trying to avoid conflict, right? Because you feel like you may lose the battle, or you may lose the fight, or you may lose the situation, all right? You've been stuck in this energy too long, and it does feel like, not from a defensive place, it feels like you really do need to fight for what you really want and what you really need, and challenge your person, all right? Challenge your person, challenge the people in your life to step up to what it is you need, because you've done this long enough. All right, so what does Spirit want you to do? What does God want you to do with all this? And I see the High Priestess, all right, observation. You already know. So this feels like this has already been some sort of process you've been going through. What Spirit is asking you to do right now, especially if you're going through a lot of shifts with this energy right now, is to really observe patterns and really sit back and listen more to the people that are in your life, to the love situation that's in your life. When you are talking to somebody, listen to them and see what their real intentions are, what their real actions are, all right? And then it's also going within and really asking yourself, what do I need to be present? All right, what do I need from this connection so I can genuinely express what I really need, and it's coming from my higher self. All right, so you have Pisces energy and you have Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy showing up for you, but the signs are not really relevant. This is just showing that love is trying to go in a different direction here, especially with the Five of Wands. All right, you don't have to fight for love. That's the bottom line. All right, Gemini. Oops. Gemini. Hello, Max, Cassius, and Carissa. What's up? All right, so Gemini, you are my son's a Gemini rising. I just had a long talk with him last night too. So I got some good stuff on my mind that was coming through. That's what I do now. I just always just analyze everybody, every sign I know, just to kind of get a closer look in my reality. What's going on with you? What is going on? All right. I hear his questions. I hear what he's saying, and I see how he's acting, trying to act cool, you know, and detached, right? And it's just, I got the Five of Pentacles, not feeling fulfilled in a lot of ways, and wanting to be loved and liked for where you're at, not what you can give, right? That's what I feel with this energy, especially when it's, you know, trying to leave. Oftentimes we hold back, and what if somebody really knows who I am and they don't approve of where I'm at, or I'm not financially stable enough, or maybe I'm not that interesting, or, you know, maybe they'll see that I have problems, and, you know, that I am kind of negative at times, and I always have to perform and be always happy-go-lucky. And look, you just want somebody to love you for who you are, the Six of Cups, right? You know, I want to let go of the past, and you know, and always going back to the past, always remembering, or you know, sometimes I'm afraid to move forward because, you know, maybe the past has done its number on me, and now I don't want people to see it, right? I just want people to see me as always being happy and playful and fun, right? Well, this version of you is trying to leave as well too, and somebody coming in who sees you for who you are and accepts you for where you're at in life. So you don't have to give or expect to give or want to give more just to prove your value, all right? I mean, we're always all working towards bettering ourselves. So this doesn't mean that you're getting a free ticket to not better yourself, but it is saying you're perfect and okay the way you are. We're all just trying to take the next step forward, right? And you want somebody to appreciate that, not judge you for whatever you may have gone through. But I do see that chill presence about you. It's like, you know, maybe you're always acting a certain way, like everything's fine, and you're keeping things, or that's kind of you protecting yourself, keeping people away from what's really going on inside. And that's how also people cannot really see the real you, get to the real you. And so let's see what's going on here. What is leaving? I'm seeing the Hierophant. Hiding your true values and beliefs, right? And being so maybe even rigid when it comes to what you expect in relationships as well too, or what you think others expect from you. Now, in commitment issues, right, or dealing with people who do not share the same commitment goals as you, right? This is a very important card to get in this. You know, it's like you need to take a look at what you truly need and value in a relationship, and how you want people to value and see you, right? And what you really need. Now, this is, you may have in the past been kind of on the fence about true commitment or who you've been committing to, right? Now you're starting to step up, and it seems like I really need somebody solid in my life. I need to know that if I form a commitment, this person is going to stay no matter what, right? And so let's see what's shifting right now. And I see the Devil card. Now, this is really big. This means that there could be a lot of things coming up for you that feel heavy at times, right? And we just had that full moon, and we're going to have another one at the end of the month. So it's like this energy here is saying anything that has been tying you down, holding you back, any thoughts, any addictions, any fears, any people in your life that you just know are too, you know, I don't want to use the word toxic anymore. I'm trying to avoid that. And I just said it again, but it just feels like misunderstanding, or you always have to constantly be on guard or performing for somebody, you know, because you don't want to trigger people, or somebody's triggering you, or people have unhealthy habits that are just kind of keeping you down at times, right? Now, a lot of this can be your own shadow stuff coming up, and own fears about commitment as well too. But what's questioned and being questioned here is the reason why a lot of this is coming up is because a lot of the people you have in your life or have dealt with in your life may have not been in alignment when it comes to, you know, your values and your goals. And this is why there's been a lot of triggering relationships happening, or maybe even a lot of unnecessary drama in your life, because you were choosing people that were not in alignment with you, right? Didn't respect or were considerate of you, of what you could give, right? So this right now, the Devil can be showing you right now some of the things that are tying you down. So if you're overwhelmed with fears and beliefs, those are the things that are coming up. Feelings, and if somebody's stressing you out or aggravating you or frustrating you, it's because God's saying this is what is trying to leave, but you've got to learn to turn away from it and walk towards what is in alignment with you. I have Taurus and Capricorn energy showing up. I did the earth signs yesterday. That may have had something in there for you if you have a close or a lot of earth in your chart as well. What is new trying to enter? You have the Ace of Pentacles right away showing up for you. Solid commitments trying to enter your life, opportunities trying to enter your life that are grounded in, you know, solidness, where you know that if somebody is saying that they want to be with you, or somebody's saying they want to partner up, or they want to contribute to the relationship or your life, they're saying, I am coming from a practical, grounded, healthy place, and I am looking towards I'm looking forward to building something long term with you. All right. I'm trying to offer you, stability here. I'm making solid promises that you can trust, that we can build from. Right. That's what's trying to enter your life. And this can show up in forms, in practical matters: job, money, wealth, home, business, and friendships, and also fresh starts with love. So with love in general, look at what's trying to enter your life: more peaceful relationships, not ones that disappoint you. You are being freed from constantly being let down. Third-party situations for some of you. Connecting with people, that devil card. Connecting when there's still unsettled business with somebody else. You're wanting love, that somebody is ready. Somebody is saying, I am here for you. I want this. So, leaving the unsettling relationships behind, constantly being not chosen, hurting, sad, disappointed, or expecting disappointment from people, afraid to get your heart broken again. Not when you have the Ace of Pentacles coming in. Somebody basically is saying to you right away, this is what I'm looking for. These are my values. These are my goals. This is what I want. And it's here. It's written. I'm telling you. I'm not playing games with you. You don't have to worry about that. But as this devil is showing up right now, it's showing you where the illusion may be, where people may be tricking you in the past, right? Or you keep falling for a situation that is not changing. Somebody else is not willing to change their ways, right? Or somebody keeps trying to tie you down or hold you back, right? This is leaving your life a love that is meant for you, a situation that is meant for you, one that you can grow with and not be terrified that you're going to get your heart broken. All right. So what should you do with all this? I see the King of Wands. Start writing your future plans. You could have an Aries, Leo, Sag. I do see a King of Wands trying to show up in your life. Somebody who has a vision, a plan, somebody who's very focused on building something, building a family, building a life, building a future that, a good future that has you in it. Somebody with goals and plans. That's a king, right? So this is also asking you to step up into what is it that you really want. What does your future look like? I had this conversation with my son last night. I'm like, I know he's doing so well. And I'm just like, I'm that older person that's like, if I would have done things differently, right now you should be investing in things and looking at your future and, because you don't know how long you're going to have, or the situation that you have right now, how comfortable you're going to be in the future. You want to make sure to invest. And this is saying you need to look at your future, Gemini, and paint that picture. It's almost like a vision board. And call this into you, because this is what's shifting in your life. And this is where, you're being pulled to go. And this is a commitment. This is a loving situation with somebody who values the same things that you value. Aries, Leo, Sag, Capricorn, Taurus is showing up for you. All right. Cancer. All right. Pretty good numbers today. Wow. Cancer. All right, Cancer. I need new cards. All right, Cancer. What is leaving right now? What's trying to come into your life? All right, we have the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So it's time to get serious and, you know, it looks like planning and reorganizing our life and stepping up, right? And, you know, maybe connections that are more responsible, and opportunities that could bring in more wealth, more stability, more financial stability and independency. Right. So if some of you are wanting something more in your career, your purpose, your life, stability with your family, somebody to add to your life materially, financially, and just more stability overall. It looks like this is what's trying to enter your life right now. And so it's very responsible energy, which means that we got to step up, we got to make a plan, we got to do this, we got to get our shit together, and we, you know, and activate, you know, and not just always being the one, and let's look at it from a different direction, not just always being the one that is responsible and doing everything for everybody else either. Okay, out of fear of losing or a fear of, you know, not having somebody with you or somebody to support you, because the Queen of Pentacles can be very independent, and whether you're male or female, and you don't really need anybody on some level for some of you. And so it's really hard to find the right connections where you don't feel like you always have to give or do something just to make sure somebody stays, you know, in a situation. So you have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn showing up for you. And I have Judgment. All right, so it does feel like what's trying to leave your life is bad decisions, first and foremost, judging or choosing the people that you're choosing to be with, maybe because you're not giving yourself enough credit, and, you know, or you're misjudging, you're blaming yourself for a situation rather than the people or the situations that you're connecting with. All right. You know, so it does talk about a lot about you being the one that is kind of connecting or nurturing people that make bad decisions. I am feeling that as well too. Or maybe you're constantly around people that seem to judge you too quickly and you feel misunderstood. All right, so that is what I'm seeing here too, because a Queen of Pentacles can be misunderstood too, but also a Queen of Pentacles can be very critical and judgmental too, because you have high standards. But if you're connecting with people that don't meet your standards, you can't change people. But you maybe some of you aren't aware of it. Maybe you're giving people more of the benefit of the doubt, or you're putting them on a pedestal, and you're giving them more credit than they deserve. Okay, and that's what I'm feeling here, where you got to make clearer decisions here, judgment calls, because you know people in your life may be you're putting them on a pedestal, and they don't deserve it. And so then you start criticizing yourself or judging yourself or thinking you've done something wrong. And really you're just in a misalignment with somebody and you're giving them too much credit. All right. So what is shifting right now? I see the Three of Cups. Maybe you already are starting to recognize who truly has love for you, who truly supports you. Noticing new friends or new people that are coming into your life. What are they saying? How are they acting around you? Are people trying to get closer to you? Are your friends saying things to you? You know, maybe you're just noticing that you want more joy, more happiness. You're feeling when you're around people who make bad decisions, especially if you have a group of friends that do, you know, party too much or do something too much or always hanging out, and then stupid shit always happens when we drink too much. You know, maybe this is what's shifting. These kind of people leave in your life, and that way you'll be around people that are making better decisions. Now, maybe you're in a relationship, or you tend to be in relationships, but we make bad choices when we are having too much fun or overdoing things. And then the next day we're wondering, where's the commitment or what's going on? These kind of things are leaving your life too right now. And it looks like we're starting, you know, it's like God's trying to bring around you the right support group and connections that are truly based in love. One that you don't have to feel like you're being judged by everybody, right? You feel like you're a part of the group. And so that could already be shifting and changing for you. What is trying to enter? You have Page of Pentacles. This can be new job, new opportunity. Maybe even some of you thinking about learning a new skill or going somewhere to study, right? Traveling somewhere, or just looking at new projects and new things that are interesting, right? Because it does look like you're trying to bring more fun or more joy, or even making more money, or trying to celebrate or hang out more and do things that are more productive is trying to come into your life. Now, this is also showing new opportunities and prospects and people who are interested in you. And it can even be friendships trying to enter your life. All right. So if you've been hanging out with the same crew, sometimes it's time to outgrow, if you've already outgrown them, and they're not influencing your life in a positive way. It does look like God's trying to send you, down the road a little bit and say, hey, check out the next neighborhood. All right. There's some people here that really do care about you. There's people here that choose you, that are genuinely available for you. And you don't have to always feel like you're being judged or misinterpreted, or that you have to do more for others just to feel welcomed, right? So what's coming in, especially in love, and we're seeing stronger bonds. We're seeing a very more authentic, much more authentic relationship in love, a bond that can grow over time, one where we feel like we can communicate and somebody's trying to get to know you. And you don't always have to be asking the questions. You don't have to always be the one that's initiated. Somebody actually is concerned with you. Wouldn't that be nice? People actually asking you how you're doing, checking up on you, wanting to, to see what's really going on with you. You don't have to be so strong all the time. You can be more vulnerable with somebody. Somebody really wants to get to know you in love. They want to see you soften up. They want to know what's going on with you. And it just feels like you're starting to be more understood by somebody who's trying to come into your life, rather than you feeling like you always have to be trying to figure somebody out and what you can do for others so that you can build the relationship. This is where somebody's trying to do for you so they can understand you. I have a Leo energy here, and I have a Scorpio, but I also have fire energy, which is Aries, Leo, Sag coming in for you. So what should you do? Page of Cups. All right. This is letting new love into your life. You got a couple pages showing up. So for some of you, there could be several offers, several new people trying to, if you're getting out there and hanging out with new people. But this can also be, even a new start with somebody that you're talking to, right? Maybe you're already noticing that they're being more social and more active in your life, right? But what you should do here, the Page of Cups, is it's going back to basics in a way. It's stepping back. You don't have to jump in full gun, full send with the relationship and prove yourself at all in any way, or always be the responsible one. This is telling you to come back to playful zone and open up your heart and allow people into your life, but let them do for you is what I'm getting. Let them show up for you, and you enjoy as people are trying to get to know you and as people are trying to give to you, or a love situation. Let them give to you for a little bit before you go and take on the responsibility of being the parent in the relationship, right? Which is not necessarily what you want to do anyways. You want it to be grounded and authentic, and you want it to be where it feels like everybody's fulfilled, everybody's happy, and we're working as a team. Leo is very strong in your reading as well. All right. Hello. You guys liking the readings? Let me know. All right. Leo. You're welcome. All right, Leo. What is trying to leave my Leos? All right, Leo. What's trying to leave and what's coming into your life right now? Gemini just had this, I think. All right. Relationships where you just feel like you're not valued for who you are, what you need, what you can give, right? You know, kind of feeling let down and, you know, maybe even constantly feeling like, you know, you're given, but you're not getting back more, you know, or getting back what you deserve, right? And there's this fear here of things just not working out or being let down in a sense, or things just expecting things to kind of stay the same or not change. You know, if you're just always feeling like you're unsupported, this card's just coming up a lot today, and a lot for a lot of you collectively. It's like, you know, do you care about me for who I am, or do you care about me for the way I make you look? Or, it comes down to really feeling supported, not feeling like you have to act like something more, put on a mask, right? It's like, this is me. This is me, and take me for as I am. I'm always continuing to grow, but I need to know somebody's going to be there for me no matter what, right? So not being afraid to take down and, you know, that mask or that wall and feel vulnerable, you know, as if you've got to perform for somebody constantly. Now I got the Two of Pentacles. So one of the biggest things that's leaving your life right now, or trying to leave, is the back and forth uncertainty, kind of always having to maintain, maintain a certain kind of role or do things constantly to keep something moving, right? So it's like you're adapting constantly or compromising in relationships. All right. And, you know, it's like you want things to be more stable. And it does seem like some of you may be dealing with a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to relationships. And it doesn't seem to go anywhere just yet. It feels like you feel like you're getting one step ahead, but then you take a step back, right? Or you feel like things are moving forward, and then, you know, all of a sudden it feels like crickets again. You know, it just feels very inconsistent, and it can be overwhelming. But some of you may be playing like everything's fine and trying to act like everything's fine, but it looks like it really weighs on you. Like you want change, you want something to change, you want to move forward, right? And so this can start to build up behind the scenes if you feel like somebody is, you know, just not always keeping plans or not always following through with plans. You can start to feel, resentful. And it's like naturally you want to move to the next step. You're somebody that, you know, you want to make a plan and move forward. You don't want to keep going back and forth. You want to know that you're working towards something. And juggling too. Juggling, constantly dealing with people who have other people in their life. Dealing with people who can't make decisions. Maybe yourself, you're not sure if you can make a decision if you really want to commit with somebody. But who are you talking to? Are these people in your life, are they very inconsistent? This is where you've got to make a decision not to stick around if somebody can't make a decision. All right, just because I'm, afraid of the unknown, whatever that is. So what's shifting right now? The Seven of Pentacles, a lot's shifting for you. You know, it looks like you have a desire to grow. Like I said, it feels like I already said this card. It's like you're tired of not knowing if you're investing in the wrong person or the wrong situation. It seems like you put a lot of effort in, and you're always being patient with people, or you've been patient with yourself. This could even be just yourself. You feel stuck. You feel like you should be a lot further along than you are. This could be, even financially, your life. You just feel like, I want to know where my life's going. I don't want to keep going down this path. It's boring to me now, or I feel stuck. So the Seven of Pentacles is happening for you right now because you're being asked to reevaluate your situations in your life. And are you just staying or sticking around or sticking at a job or playing a part and being okay because you're stuck and you don't know what the future looks like? You don't have a plan, so you accept whatever comes your way. So either you're connected to somebody that is constantly on again, off again, or inconsistent, but you don't have a plan anyways. So you just keep, playing around with it. This is all leaving your life because it's actually holding you back from actually moving forward and making a plan in your life and getting to the next step. You might be investing during the Seven of Pentacles. You've got to ask yourself, have I invested enough time in this situation and it's getting nowhere? Do I just need to close up shop and go a different direction? Or do I need to take a look at where I'm at and reevaluate and say, I'm a lot further along than I am, but I am ready for the next step. So we need to make a decision about moving forward and actually doing it and not staying somewhere because I'm comfortable and then just being unhappy. Because we can do that too. You can do whatever you want. You can stay, but you're going to constantly feel bored and stuck and unhappy. So what's trying to enter your life? I see a Queen of Cups, somebody very loving, somebody very nurturing. This could be many people or a representation of people that are trying to enter your life. Relationships are trying to be more emotionally connected, more depth to relationships. And it looks like that's where your block is here. You have connections in your life, but you don't have the depth in your life. You don't have the nurturing in your life. You don't feel like you're feeling cared. You're feeling emotionally secure. And for some of you, maybe you didn't think you needed it before. You didn't realize that you needed emotional understanding, you needed depth, or you needed romance, or you just needed to feel more secure. It may have showed up in other areas. You may have performed like everything was fine just because, you do like fun and keep things lighthearted, but it looks like it could be weighing on you because maybe time's pressing at you. Or you're just feeling kind of like done with, bored with the patterns that you've been dealing with. And I'm feeling like what's trying to enter your life is more romantic, more depth, more deep conversations, deeper people, meaningful people. And also creativity for some of you. Some of you, this could just be like you've been craving, like you're tired of everything being logical and financial and everything about mundane shit and just everyday stuff and just going and going and going. And you're just friggin' bored and you wanting to bring more creativity into your life. Now, do you see a person trying to show up? And let's see, in love specifically, the Three of Cups, you're being asked to have more fun. So in love, what's trying to come in is somebody who wants more fun in your life, somebody who wants to see the fun side of you, somebody who wants to share good times with you. Somebody who wants to go out sometimes. Maybe it doesn't have to be to parties. It doesn't have to be to the club. It could be just going for walks and talking more and connecting more and enjoyment. This is pure love and enjoyment where we feel happy and just having good times together. Somebody who's consistent with you, somebody who sticks to plans, somebody who just wants to be around you no matter what's going on and wants to have good times together. So this goes back to, the Pentacles and the Temperance card. Not somebody, who is always worried or negative or focused on, the problems, or you always trying to hide problems and act like nothing's wrong because you don't want to, you want to keep the peace. This is really being loved and having fun no matter what's going on, and knowing that the people around you will love you regardless of whatever problem or struggle that you're having. So this could be even, new friendships, new love, reconciliation, or just going out and having more fun is trying to enter your life with your partner. What should you do? The Eight of Swords. It's time for you to reevaluate and take a look at what do you think is really keeping you stuck, keeping you trapped. It's a mindset. This is where the only thing that keeps you stuck is your own beliefs. The excuses we tell ourselves, the things we say. What if this happens? What if I do show them myself? What if I do make a choice and it's not the right one? It's like all these things that could be, that you're very fearful of. This is where you're being asked to take a chance, right? And move forward and not let any kind of fear or doubt or self-doubt hold you back, especially if you're dealing with people who are inconsistent in your life. You're seriously being asked to, not take any, not be afraid to speak your mind and take action and say, well, if you can't make a decision, I need to make a decision here because I'm trying to map out my future. But some of you may be holding on to the thought that, what if this is all I got? Or what if this is all I have? That's a limited belief. All right. I love you, Leo. A lot of water around you, water sign, or somebody with strong water placements. All right, let's move on to Virgo. Virgos. All right, let's see. I don't know. The reads this week have been like on friggin' point for myself as well in a lot of ways. I don't know. Sometimes they're just there. And Virgo, it is there. All you Virgos, everybody's got their own story going on, but it's real. That's what I got. And we're Virgos, you're still dealing kind of with the South Node energy of letting go of, the things, the being of service, the being the slave, the being, you got to do your value, everything, you have to be useful or you're not going to be needed, perfectionism, all that worry and stress and, oh my God, oh my, all right. And Virgo's really getting a tune up and being able to, relax and not have to be perfect all the time. And that's the story that's been for months and months and months. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm reflecting a lot on the conversation with my son last night, who's Virgo, Gemini rising, Sag moon. And it's just like, the perfection of who you are, the way you are right now. Virgos are known for self-improvement. You're always going to be better in yourself. You're always going to be working towards perfection. All right. But learning to feel that you're perfect the way you are now too, and you don't always have to be doing or fixing something, or it's always about you having to change something or do something to make something work for somebody else. That shit's going out the door. Right? That's going out the door. All right. And you're good enough. And I see the 10 of Pentacles here, overall energy. All right. And this is your value, your worth. And this is knowing your value and your worth and long-term plans and long-term goals and having the right people around you. And you're going to get there. You're going to get there. You know, you have the 10 of Pentacles here, which is who are you investing your time into? Do you have a plan long-term? What kinds of patterns are you breaking right now that might be inherited by your family? That's a big one. That's a big one. All right. A lot of you are so used to being the one that had to overperform or do or give or be the responsible one and tend to everything in order to have your place in a home or a relationship. And that is not, that's conditional love. And so you're building your support group right now. You're building the team. And I mean, you either are or you're not, right? You don't have to do anything. But if it's a natural feeling and you're evolving right now, it looks like what's shifting is if anybody is not meant to be in your soul group anymore, those versions are leaving your life. But let's tap in a little bit more. So let's see what's leaving. 7 of Swords. Bullshit's leaving. See you later. Bye. That's like the best card right there to say see ya. The lies, the illusions, the denial. When you know you can't trust something. The lying to yourself, the criticizing yourself. You know? Trying to strategize everything. There it is. Maybe I can figure it out this way. Maybe I can fix this. Maybe I can do that. You know, no. See you later. See you later. You know, people show themselves right away and calling them out. Calling people out even on the dumbest lies. Right? Letting people get away with saying shit that is uncertain and just being like, oh, whatever. No. And this doesn't mean that you have to make people leave, but this is calling people out on being inauthentic. You, Virgo, you can see like every little thing, but then, you know, you analyze and you analyze and you analyze, but you already saw it. And it's calling people out on their bullshit, but in a very gracious way. Like I'm always trying to find harmony and peace, you know? It's like there's a way to confront lies and illusions and deception and you know, people who just can't always, you know, even if it's white lies or they're just talking to talk or bullshit, and you can't always trust that's got to go. So what's shifting right now? The 2 of Swords. So you may be feeling this right now, very strong pull to make decisions between, you know, who you're giving your time to, what kind of drama, what kind of energy, what kind of situations, right? Not getting sucked into something that you know is not true, right? So you may have specific belief. This could all be internal. You just have beliefs that you're starting to see through your own beliefs, you know, your own internal beliefs around situations. Maybe you're lying to yourself or you're in denial about something, right? Or you just don't trust the situation. So you're constantly going back and forth and battling yourself. Right, this is what's happening right now. So you could be going through this shift right now and trying to decipher, all right, you know, by making choices of what you're going to confront and what you're not going to confront. And this can simply be just not getting pulled into when you know somebody's being inauthentic or not being 100%, you know, honest with you. You know, it's like you can also choose to not get pulled into it as well. So what is trying to enter your life? I see the Queen of Cups for you. Relationships that are that you feel more deeply. People seeing you and how they make you feel, right? And people seeing your feelings and people making you feel more emotionally safe. That's really big right now. That was just coming through for Leo as well. You know, so you're kind of choosing between superficial deception and hiding your feelings, your true feelings with somebody and not feeling emotionally secure anymore. All right. You're starting to see the division. You're needing and wanting more nurture in relationships, and relationships that make you feel seen and felt, and there's depth there. And so if you've been dealing with any kind of relationships that have no depth, they're going to be leaving your life, because with this water energy, you're not going to be able to handle, it's not going to feel good. You're not going to be able to deny yourself much longer. Especially in love, what's coming in, I see the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is what's trying to come into your life right now. Do you see this, this depth here? This knowing that you can be okay in the moment. You don't have to go back to the past. You don't have to go back to an old version of yourself trying to maintain the relationship, tiptoeing around everything, everyone. You're seeing here what's trying to come into your life in love is somebody who really supports you and really loves you. You know, it's not trying to get back to the way something was. It's starting to live from the moment and create something totally new. So that I want to make that land in the best way possible. I want to have the right words for that. It's like, how many years or how long have you been sitting in a loop with somebody or a situation, and it just feels like it hasn't evolved? And, you know, you just, all of a sudden you take a step back and you're like, wow, so much time has gone by. And I remember a time when life used to just keep happening and different things kept coming in, and it felt like there was constantly, you know, movement and evolution, and it felt like I was creating something. And that's what's trying to come into life. It's like no longer just going around in circles anymore. It's like we're happy, we're okay, and we're good, and we see each other, and we want to build something from here. A soulmate energy, and not having to perform just to keep a relationship close. And you can see the depth that's trying to come in too. Now, this can be friendships as well. It can also be reconciling or growing closer with somebody that you're with. But with that in mind, if you're connected to somebody, the thing is you making a choice right now to call somebody out. Be real with me. Stop, you know, confront the elephant in the room. Because that's how your relationships are going to grow, because it feels as though, you know, somebody wants the depth with you, somebody loves you, but we cannot keep not addressing the problem that we've been trying to hide. You cannot fix it, Virgo. The way you fix it is by confronting it authentically. So what does Spirit think you should do? You have the Queen of Pentacles. Take a sensible, practical, and grounded approach. This isn't about everybody running and calling your person and calling them out on all their bullshit. And when I say bullshit too, I'm thinking like when people are just being, you know, they want to say something, or they're tiptoeing around, being indirect and that kind of stuff. This is calling somebody out on being indirect and trying to find some sort of truce or compromise on being able to move forward. But how can we do that? Because you need to ground in on your own plans and grow. But it looks like through compassion, groundedness, and kindness, it looks as though you and another person can finally address whatever elephant has been in the room. And that is what's shifting for you. I have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You have a couple people coming in, but this can also be just versions of people as well. So you're obviously having to make some sort of call here where you need to address somebody and them being inauthentic at times. It's time to get real. You're somebody that you deserve that. Be real with me, right? I love you guys. All right, Libra. All right, Libra. Libra, Libra, Libra. What is trying to leave? What is leaving your life? I mean, some of this, what I'm tapping into today is this is stuff, especially after the full moon, that is leaving involuntary. There's the word. Like things just, it's a natural process. Things just happen. Things just leave. We're ready. We know we're ready. And sometimes you just wake up and you just feel different. You know, you went to bed, you must have, I just had a conversation with this, right? Maybe you process something in your mind when you're sleeping and you wake up and you just, you feel a shift. You feel like something's leaving that's good, that feels like it has to. Now, it doesn't necessarily physically people leave in your life. I want you to understand that. It's more metaphorically. It's like you just done with that energy. You have the Five of Pentacles too here. So whatever's been letting you down, or where you've been hard on yourself, or you feel like you've been, on it, doing everything yourself, or, playing this part where maybe you feel like you have it together and you're trying not to focus on the negative, but the problems are still there and they're unavoidable, but it doesn't have to define who you are, right? And this can also, this fear of being rejected for who you really are, so this card can be, we accommodate, or we try to overperform or overgive because we feel like we lack something, right? That's trying to leave too. So let's look at what is leaving. I see the World card. Look at this, completion of a super big, important chapter of your life. That's big. So you are a closing. This can show up in a lot of ways. Some of you guys know that you're already ready for something new. And that process of grief, that process of closure, you've achieved something already. But sometimes we get to a point, we achieve something so much where we have this status that we don't know how to start fresh. We don't know how to step back. We don't know how to completely close a chapter because we don't know what the new is. And it can be very uncomfortable. But movement is happening. So what is shifting right now for you? The High Priestess. Downloads. A lot of silence, a lot of quietness could be around you right now. Maybe some of you feeling like, people have gone quiet, or there is some distance, silence. Maybe you are feeling the need to be a little bit more silent, because this card here is saying a lot of information is coming your way. This is the download card. This is the dreams card. This is your angels card. This is the, listen to your higher self card. Nobody has the answers, except you, and when you go, you already have the answers, but you need to listen more. So you could be getting messages, and even, messages can come in forms of people saying things around you, or indicating, or a sign. You drive by and you read a board, something that is showing you your new direction. But you are being asked right now specifically to have more trust in yourself right now when things feel, you have major arcana right here around you, which says that a lot of this is out of your hands. So it means that God's working on you right now. It means the universe is shifting in your life right now. So it can seem like things are quiet and uncomfortable at times, but you really have to trust in the plan right now, and trust in yourself, and realize that if people are pulling away from you, or energy feels like, quiet around you, that the meaning that you attach to it is what's creating the fear. Because is there distance? Distance is an illusion. Space is an illusion. Time is an illusion. And so once you look at your life and you say, oh, this person is way over there, I haven't talked to them in 3 days, you're putting meaning like something is wrong. And there is nothing wrong right now. This is just a period of contemplation. It's a period of going within and really listening to what you really want and what's trying to come through you. So what is trying to come in your life and then in love? I see the Strength card and I see the Lovers card. You got all 4 major arcana here. You know, you see authentic relationships coming in, confidence coming in, strength coming in, you know, courage coming in. This is all inner work, you know, something going on. Maybe this is expression, your authentic self. Maybe some of you have been kind of going back and forth where you're pulled in so many directions. You know, you're always, this can be the card of having a mask on for everybody, doing everything for everybody, being this person for everybody. You know, always having to sort of perform for everybody. We all do it, right? And this is where, you know, you're run thin, you know, when you're trying to do for everybody, be there, be the strong one for everybody. All right. It's like the master, it's like the jack of all trades, master of none. Whereas what's trying to come towards you is real, authentic, deep love in relationships, whether friends, family, lovers. A true love is trying to come to your life, but you have to be authentic. You have to be able to be strong and be courage, you know, have courage and speak your true self. You know, be comfortable in your own skin. And right now, if there are energies or people pulling away from you, there's a reason for it. Maybe you were being so spread thin by connecting to people that are taking up your time, that they're blocking the real you from having the energy to really show up for the ones that really are meant to be there for you. Right? So we have in love specifically, you have somebody who's very dedicated to a relationship. And this is how you'll know also by not having to perform for other people or just allow superficial relationships into your life. You learn that when you pull back your energy, you have more for even the right people. And those people get to see you for who you really are. And that's when you're in alignment and you are being sort of asked to kind of go within and ask yourself, what does true love look like for me? What does that mean? I can't sit around and wait for somebody to change for me. I want somebody to show up being ready. So I need to define what that looks like for me. You shouldn't feel like you have to perform for people in your life. You should be able to be who you are all the time. And we're all a work in progress. You have Leo, Pisces, Gemini, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio energy showing up for you. So what should you do with all this? I see the 4 of Cups. It's time for you to contemplate and make a decision. Where are you giving your time to people that are just leaving you feeling unwanted? They don't give you enough time of the day. They show up once in a while. You reach out to people when you're bored just to see if they're, you know, checking in to see if they're even interested. You feel stuck. Whatever offers you are getting don't always seem like they're enough. You usually feel, you know, more let down when you try to invest in something or someone. A lot of these missed opportunities that you're dealing with or people that you keep trying to reach out to that are giving you not the time of day or only giving you very little, you know, we are seeing finding closure from that and not being afraid to do that. I promise you guys, I promise you, and I will make this promise. I've over the 6 years of doing this, As fearful as it can be when somebody pulls away from you or leaves your life, something new comes in to fill it up. Something new will come in. It's almost like money. How am I going to get this bill paid? You know, you pay this, something else comes in. It always comes in. And this is what I'm seeing. What's trying to come in towards you is strong relationships that are built off of authenticity, and they get stronger over time. They don't get stuck over time. You don't have to perform over time. They actually build and get stronger over time, and they evolve. You don't go into this place of 4 cups wondering, why am I still giving, but I'm not receiving? All right. That's what I got for you, Libra. Hello, I saw Miss Mountain Girl. Sorry, I didn't want to stop the reading, but I did want to acknowledge you. I hope you're doing well. And hello, Sadie. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. All right, Scorps. Yes, everything is good. I got a lot going on, you know, but it's all good. I got a lot of good things. I'm going to be a grandma. But then I got a lot going on right now, but it's all good. All right, Miss Scorpios. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. I had to talk to myself about Scorpio again because I've been dealing with this. You know, us Scorpios, we don't like people to see us. We don't want to be exposed. And I always feel like when I come to my Scorpio readings, I try to disconnect from it so much that I'm like, I don't know if I do you guys justice. But I think that's it. I think one of the things that's trying to leave our lives right now, especially with that full moon Scorpio that we just had, is, you know, that quiet, that protectiveness we have, that keeps people from getting to really know us, right? And that is wild. I think that's the most important thing. It's like we're very, very quiet and protective, and people are like, oh, secretive. I don't have any crazy secrets and you guys would think I was so uncool. All right. So the whole deceptive Scorpios, you know, I mean, I think it's kind of funny. It's like an alter ego or something, or maybe it's like what people want to envision. But really it's just the gentleness and the silence, and more of the fear of just getting hurt. You know, that's, you know, but we can't continue to not let people in because of some old, you know, wound from 3rd grade or something, you know. Let's see. Look at this. What's leaving your life? The 10 of Swords. I like it. I don't like people up in my business either. This is different. I don't like people up in my business. This is different. This is psychological. This is Scorpio. You know what I mean. All right. No, I don't need people knowing what's going on in my house. Stay out of my house. Don't, unless I invite you in. I don't need, you know, I don't want to feel obligated to have to do anything. Right. But this is that staying quiet and kind of, you know, distant, and people not really getting to see what's really going on in your inner world, the ones that you really want to let in. So we're seeing I like that, by Felicia to the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. This is lifetimes and lifetimes of betrayal and bullshit and ending. So something that you know is about to end, or you're just tired of being let down. And if you're at you've been at an emotional rock bottom. This is rock bottom. This is the card that everybody's just like, I'd rather get the Tower than the Ten of Swords sometimes. But the only thing is about this card, though, is it's saying things are going to look good now. You have, look at the hardest, the heaviest part. Maybe this is, you know, Chiron's going to be moving into Taurus for some of us with Aries Chiron. So that shit's over since 2018. I'm done. I've had so many healing energies. All this is done. So maybe some of you, I know you might, it's lifetimes, it's people that you've constantly given them the benefit of the doubt. You keep trying, and it's no longer, no, you can't do it anymore. So for some of you, if you are in a situation, I will say this, you know, something's coming to a close. Something that has been causing you so much pain and has drugged you through the fire so many times that it's like you can't do this any longer. The Ten of Wands. This is not how you're going to live the rest of your life. You can't do it. I won't let you. Right? So what is shifting right now? The Three of Wands. All right. So this is where I just feel like I just felt the wind blowing. It's like, come on already then. All right. So you're in the process right now. Things are actually starting to come together with the Three of Wands. Your movement, there's movement. You're moving forward. Lots, you know, maybe for some of you, you're still kind of, you know, looking off into the distance here with this card because it can still feel like a waiting game, right? And it can feel like, what do I do next? You know, but this to me is like you're looking towards, you have no idea, you know, Four of Wands is one of the happiest cards you can get, and you're headed in that direction. There could be a new move. There could be, you're thinking about relocating, or you're thinking about expanding your circle, making new connections. But to me, what it feels like, it's more of a feeling here where you're starting to feel the space around you open up. And this could be the process that's going on behind the scenes too. Spaces are opening up. People are opening up. Something is trying to come in towards you. You are moving in a completely new direction. You're being set free. If that's all you need to hear, you're being set free from this shit. All right. And more options coming in for you. Now, if you've been working on something and this is work related and you're focusing on future plans, because this is future plan making. Maybe some of you right now have been talking more to people about, you know, the next few months, the next few years. Right? So this is what's shifting right now. What's trying to come into your life? The Magician, and specifically in love, we got the Devil card. All right. That does not mean the devil is coming into your life. When things are trying to enter your life, you are being liberated. You are being freed with the Magician card. You are being freed from manipulation. You're being freed from certain toxic energies. I said I wasn't, and I'm doing it again, but unhealthy energies, any kind of addictions, any kind of strong material attachments, any kind of, you know, maybe you've been dealing with a lot of healing lately. You can see that with the Ten of Swords. In love, you're leveling up. Right? You're transforming certain fears you may have about love, and you're releasing a lot of unhealthy patterns and behaviors when it comes to love. And what it feels like, Scorpio, is like the part I was saying in the beginning, compromising or not letting people get close to you because you have a lot of fear of betrayal. Fear of betrayal. Fear, that is Scorpio's biggest wound. It just seems like right out the womb it started, you know, betrayal, but you never saw, you didn't know. And a lot of you may have blamed yourself thinking it was you, but you would just, you know, you had to go through a lot of transformations to get to this point. So what I am seeing here is no more game playing. coming into your life, and you have the Magician. So this could bring new skills coming your way, new people. If you're single, if you're leaving a situation, this is attracting in new potentials. The Magician is pure potential. It's whatever you want, whatever you're trying to make plans for. You're getting the vision board idea too. So maybe the new moon in Taurus, it's one of my favorite new moons because it does oppose us too, but I've always, for a few years now, it seems to be one of the best new moons for me when I manifest or set my new intentions for the future. It's one that I just put a lot of emphasis on. So this could be where you're creating your new vision board for the future. You're bringing in healthier relationships that are in more alignment with you. And this could also be you expanding your skill set. You might do something, go somewhere, or find a new job, new lifestyle, whatever. And it could be with a healthier partner, new people in your life. So what should you do? I see the 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. Vision board. Vision board. What does your future look like? It looks like you have spent a long time, dwelling or dealing with a lot of pain or a lot of situations that you had a lot of hope for. And it's hard to move on from a difficult situation like this. But now it seems like everything is shifting in a new direction for you that looks like you're being asked to take what you've learned and create what you want. You're headed towards the 10 of Pentacles, but you got to make a plan. And what does that look like? You have Gemini, Virgo energy, Capricorn energy showing up for you. And the 10 of Wands, all right? It's like not doing it on your own anymore and letting somebody in, because it looks like, you're putting down some sort of protective barrier. And, somebody wants to see you for who you are, not you having to do it all yourself or hiding, from people, or your person. A lot of power coming in for you. A lot of powerful connections coming in for you. Remember, the Magician is power. And it's where you choose to focus your intention and what kind of future you're wanting to create for yourself. You're the power right now to ignite and make this happen is coming through as super intense. And I like that energy for you. All right, Scorpio. All right, let's see. We have our Sagittarius. Oh, sorry. All right, 132. That's where I'm going. All right, Sagittarius, 132. All right, Saggy. What is Saggy? What does Saggy mean? Saggy as your opposite sign probably means that there's a part of the reading that you need to, our opposite sign helps us grow. So that could be why it resonates with you. All right, Sag, what's trying to leave your life? You have the 10 of Pentacles too. Anything that is not building something solid for the future. So to me, it feels like today's reading is like it's time to step up and, take things seriously in a way. Like, no more messing around here. It's like no more waiting for the right moment, no more, dealing with temporary situations, dealing with on again bullshit, off again bullshit. This is about, I see the Emperor and I see Saturn. So Aries and Saturn. Wow, genius, right? It just feels like, we need to take a look at what we're building here and what we really want and not playing games anymore. Right? Now, waiting for life to happen or waiting for the next best thing. And, for some of you, not being afraid to commit, not being afraid to commit, because that could be I learned that a long time ago, where a lot of you and a lot of myself, if we dealt with anybody that seemed like they were non-committal, it was actually a reflection to fear inside, that it was more me that was non-committal, right? So you might be dealing with something like that, like afraid to commit. What if I commit to the wrong person? What if this isn't the one that, if I invest in and then I find out later on that, but you got to decide. So I see a Queen of Pentacles, leaving your life or trying to leave. Now, this can be the idea or the version of yourself that thinks you can do everything on your own or wants to do everything on your own. You don't need anybody. You're good to go. Had a household. Everything's got to have a plan. Perfect. And loosening up a little bit, loosening up control a little bit. There could be a person, an earthy energy, or somebody, it could indicate people that are trying to leave your life that are not a part of your plan. It is stepping up and being responsible about your future, like I said. So if you're messing around with bullshit and you know it, and you're just, I don't know, you're telling yourself it's temporary, it's until something else happens. That's not going to work anymore. You're not making space, and it's everything takes your energy. Or gives, but it's a reciprocation, but it's all energy. So it's using it wisely. So what's happening right now, and I see the Empress, some of you really coming into the idea of, maybe some of you really wanting to be taken care of instead of always taking care of everything else. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female with that Empress card. We all have the desire to want to grow and be nurtured and to feel comfortable with ourselves and other people. You have a lot around family and growth and just wanting to settle in. Some of you really do want to settle in, but you're so used to doing everything yourself and being the one that's fully responsible. And maybe this is where you might be connecting to people who are only temporary. So there's a part of you right now where the shift that's happening right now, it's changing maybe the way you think you need to be to show up in love. Rather than always being the one that has to do everything, you can sit back and enjoy and let others do for you. But you can receive love. It can be as simple as allowing yourself just to receive love and to let something grow. So it looks like, you're being asked in a way to know your worth in a relationship, grow more comfortable in a relationship, or, in your own skin, so that you can allow a relationship to grow. Because this is also trusting in yourself and trusting in love. and allowing it to grow. But some of you may be so afraid, you may even stop love from growing at times because you're very strict when it comes to how it needs to be or how it needs to show up. So this can be a process that you're going through right now. We do have the full moon coming at the end of the month, and a lot around your value and your self-worth when it comes to relationships is changing. Maybe you're noticing more, or you will start to notice more, who really comes to you, who shows up for you, who makes you feel safe and comfortable. And if you're not feeling safe and comfortable with people who are meant to only be temporary, or if you're keeping things temporary, it's going to be really obvious that you're not feeling happy or fulfilled. Because on a deeper level, it feels like you're yearning to be taken care of on some level in a relationship. And be careful. I'm not trying to say that in like, oh, you just get to kick back and do nothing. This is where, sometimes people take my words and run with it. It's like we all want to be taken care of in some way, right? But it's feeling so comfortable and nurtured in a healthy relationship where it's equal give and take. What's trying to enter your life, you have the Five of Swords and you have in love the World card. So being freed from people who are never clear with their motives. Constantly being left with more questions than answers. Trying to figure out or over-explain yourself in relationships. Always thinking you could have said something differently. Or maybe you should have said something differently. Or even holding back maybe sometimes what you really want to say because you're afraid somebody's going to walk away. But it feels like what's coming into your life is an opportunity for a healthy relationship to grow once we close the manipulative situations, the unclear situation. We confront the elephant in the room. We confront the confusion. If somebody's showing up for you and they're still confusing you, it looks like in order for this new chapter that's trying to come into your life where you get to lean back a little and you get to enjoy true unconditional love, you've got to call somebody out and stop trying to over-explain or justify or argue with confusion and with people who are being deceptive or not always being clear with their motives. That's what's shifting for you. You're starting to realize you don't have that you're wasting your time with this. So what does Spirit think you should, what should you do with all this focused on? I see the Four of Pentacles. It could be a little scary to transition into this energy. If you're somebody that's used to doing everything and you're always choosing to stay in a difficult situation here because you think you can make it work, or you're always the one trying to make it work or fix things, right? It's going to be uncomfortable for you to slowly lean back or decide to lean back, even though you're feeling it already that you deserve more. So the Four of Pentacles it can be hard to let go because you are not sure what's next and you don't want to commit to leaving something or commit to doing something if you're not sure or don't feel emotionally secure or financially secure. So it's going to be hard to loosen the grip a little bit and allow what is trying to leave your life. And this need to be or have everything perfect, or this need to control or manage a situation so closely, micromanage a situation so closely. It's going to be hard for you to loosen your grip on that, especially if you're the one that's been micromanaging or the one that has to constantly be the one, making sure shit gets done. That's going to be a hard transition at first, but one that is necessary. And when you start to let go of that control, you're going to see that this new chapter is opening up for you, and a new relationship or a different standard of a relationship is showing up for you. You have Taurus, Libra energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio. And like I said, this is all about your future plan. And that's why your reading is so direct about that. You know, getting clear here on your plan. All right, Capricorn. All right, I'm going to do 144, 44 for Capricorn. Let me get a good shuffle. All right, Capricorn. What is leaving and what is trying to come into your life right now? Ooh, I almost dropped the cards. You have the 10 that almost fell out too. So we're getting a lot of 10s today. Capricorn. What is Capricorn here? All right. I have a King of Swords here, overall energy. So there could be Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy, right? Coming towards you, or we're seeing a specific energy of a person. Somebody being honest, somebody being direct, somebody talking about the bigger picture, and somebody wanting to express their truth, right? The direction of the relationship or the direction of your life. So this could even be you two as well. It's time to really kind of take a bird's eye view of your life and see where things are really going. But the King of Swords always brings truth, clarity, and honesty and communication. And so if you have lack of that, or you're dealing with people that lie, flat out lie, that kind of energy, and or you just feel like you have a lack of direction, that is changing. So let's dive in. What is leaving? I see a King of Cups. So uncertainty and lack of depth, non-committal energy is leaving. Shallowness. Scorpio energy there. Cancer, Pisces, but Scorpio major energy here. Things that you already know, and if there's a lack of trust or emotional depth and a lack of emotional maturity in a relationship, these things are leaving your life because we can't evolve if we're dealing with emotionally unavailable people. But also, if you're just dealing with somebody who's emotionally unavailable, there is potential, you know, for some of you that somebody's realizing they need to invest more emotionally. So something could be changing in that too as well. It doesn't always mean somebody has to be leaving. I just want to clarify that every single time. But in some cases, it does say if you need to face some sort of reality or truth about chasing or connecting to people who are emotionally unavailable, then you have to, you don't have to do anything, but that's a pattern that needs to be looked at, because it's one that people get addicted to and chase after, but it's not one that has a very high success rate. If somebody's not showing you, then they don't. I mean, it's knowing how they show up for you right away and not trying to change somebody. You know, it's pretty obvious when somebody doesn't want to commit or somebody's emotionally unavailable. What is changing right now is that there is some freedom happening here. There's a shift in your energy when it comes to not being afraid to move forward and not knowing what's going to happen. Right? So the Fool card is showing up in the current energy. This could be a process that's happening around you. It could also be just a pattern, or you're shedding a version of yourself that will not tolerate emotional unavailability any longer. But also, if you have a fear of, because some of you, let me just take this a step deeper. If some of you are just afraid to connect with somebody, or, you know, it's hard for you to take a leap of faith in a situation and you start to panic because you have dealt with emotionally unavailable energy before, and you've become emotionally unavailable, you don't trust. It looks like what's shifting here for you as well is that you are starting to trust more in the experience itself. And that means that as you're moving forward, if somebody's not available, you're not going to hang around. You're going to move on quicker. So this is the process that could be shifting now, or starting to shift after the full moon. And now it's going to evolve more, where you're naturally letting go of the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen next, because you don't give a shit. Because if this person doesn't show up, you're moving on anyways. So you're either with me or you're not, kind of energy. And it's a very fresh feeling of freedom, where you don't feel controlled by the relationships around you. What's trying to come in? You got a lot trying to come in. All right. I don't know if some of you are, you know, been stuck for a while at a crossroads, been feeling like, I don't know which direction my life is going in. Well, it looks like what's trying to come in is a break in that. It's like it's time for you to move forward and make some future plans here. You got to discover more what's out there. You can't be stagnant any longer. Some of you have been stagnant for quite some time, and this is saying that, you know, life's trying to move you right now. Whether that's relocation or other options, or opening up your energy to new people in your life. But this is what's trying to change for you. And if you've been putting all your time into people, friends, a job, career, anything where it feels emotionally unfulfilling, this is where this natural involuntary kind of transition is saying you're releasing a lot of this experience now, because you're ready to experience more in your life. You naturally need it. You need a goal. You need something to go after. And this is where you can't stop your soul from, you know, evolving on its own anyways, right? It's like your ego can try to stop life from growing, but your higher self is winning the case here. Your higher self is like, no, there's more I want to explore. And we can see many opportunities trying to come in love, specifically. 6 of Pentacles. A person who wants to give to you, a person who wants to show you how much they care, a person who wants to be generous with their time and their effort, and they want what you want. In love, you have more supportive connections, somebody who's willing to meet you where you're at. Somewhere where when you give, they receive it and they see it as a gift. Not you give and they just take it and don't recognize. And then you keep giving more until you feel like they appreciate you. This is in love, somebody who sees everything about you as a gift. And they see where you've come, you know, how far you've come. It's going to be a pretty quick shift for you if some of you are resonating with this. Because as you are becoming more open and the space is opening up for you, you have more support coming your way. And this is somebody that prefers to give too, loves to give as well. Loves to support you in ways. What should you do with all this? Ace of Wands. Watch for the signs, and when you feel inspired, go for it. The Ace of Wands, you must be having a lot of ideas. You have the Fool energy, the Ace of Wands, that's Aries energy. That says, if you feel inspired, go for it. Don't hold yourself back from doing the littlest things in your life right now. The Three of Wands, expanding your friends, expanding, you know, doing stuff daily, going places, opportunities. The Ace of Wands, though, also tells you that if you already have the inspiration and you already have feeling some sort of desire or way to do something, advance, go for it, do it, take that next step. Get the fire started. But I do see you have an offer coming your way sooner than you think. I always say up around the bend when I see the Three of Wands. All right. I love you guys. You have air and you have water showing up for you. You also have strong Aries. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But I love the break in the energy today. We also have Pluto going direct today too. So there's going to be a lot of in the background. Pluto is sort of a planet, I guess you'd say, that it's not like Mercury where you're going to feel like the retrograde so much, but it's more about deeper transformation and reevaluating what needs to change, what's been happening, why does this stuff need to leave, and where am I headed now? You know, what's trying to come in? Man, I just had that click. Wow, I'm a genius today. You know, maybe what I'm talking about today has to do with the Pluto retrograde. All right, Aquarius. Thank you. Hello, Lisa. Thank you. 5-5 portal as well. That's true too. Later, Mr. Hunt. Oh, Aquarius. Sorry, I didn't change it. All right, Aquarius. What's trying to leave your life right now? All right. Aquarius, you're still very unique to me right now. You know, just when you think you understand a sign, look at that, the moon card. You just don't know what you thought you know. And a lot is still changing and transforming for you. A lot going on. A lot, maybe some of you have been feeling kind of, you're dreaming about that. You've had some downloads. You've had some connections. You feel something shifting, and things come in cycles, and you may know that something, you just feel it. And but there's still this nervousness, maybe on some level, of not quite knowing what the future looks like. And you may, obviously you're a sign that can keep yourself a little bit distant from what's really going on emotionally. You can act super cool, like, oh, that's not me. I hear you guys all the time. I'm good. You've got a heart, you've got emotions, just like the rest of us. But some of you, this can be fears, that still kind of lurk in the background. Maybe you are wanting somebody to see more into you, see deeper into you, right? You are layered. You're very layered. And I'm on a mission over the past year or so, a couple of years, right, to really map out the layer. And you can be a mystery to people, and that's this card too as well, But part of your transformation too, especially with Pluto going retrograde in your sign, is going to be diving into those depths. Being able to, not be so emotionally distant from people. Because a part of you, it's natural. You would rather analyze, observe a situation rather than to fully feel it. And that's with all, I think, air signs as well. It's easier to talk about it, think about, than it actually is to sit with the feeling. But part of manifesting and connecting to what it is you really want is being able to feel deeply into what it is you really want. Right? So a lot's changing for you. What's trying to leave? And I see the Ace of Swords. Anything that leaves you second guessing yourself. Things that get started but don't go anywhere. Out. People who don't meet you on a intellectual level. Out. The moment something goes questionable, or the moment that something just doesn't seem right, or seems dishonest, or the moment that there's no commitment or contract, it's not going to be easy. For part of your transformation is, I think, to be able to sit with your feelings and go deeper in a relationship. How can you do that if somebody's not meeting you at the front door? And this is going to be where, if somebody's not being fully authentic, trust that within the first 2 minutes, people are going to show themselves to you. They don't change. People, we are who we are. We might have slight masks when you meet us, but most good people try to be authentic right out the gate. Intentions, trust and motives, and asking and being intentional right out the gate. Knowing and trusting people for what they say and what they do right out the gate. Not latching on to things that don't have an honest start. And if relationships are challenging you too much right out the gate, just imagine if you get married. It's like, I understand some relationships can have challenging starts, and it can be some of the most fulfilling relationships, but sometimes we got to be real with ourselves. Sometimes the challenges that we're having in the start is a behavioral thing, is a personality thing, and those things don't change. They tend to get worse when we get more comfortable. So if you don't feel like somebody's being authentic with you or honest and are not actually handing you a decent offer right out the gate, this is where, for some of you, you can't really grow from there because you can't be yourself. And they can't meet you at the depth that you really want to go to, even if it's just in conversation. What's shifting right now is, look at this, you got the Lovers card. You must already be reevaluating and noticing whether or not you're on the same page with other people. Are you still in love with somebody? Who are you in love with? Is somebody in love with you? It looks like you're evaluating your choices in love. Because you can't deepen a connection if it's only desire and you're the only one that desires the relationship. It can't be one-sided. And you're seeking true divine love. And that's what's shifting for you right now, is when it's you making choices on who you decide to interact with, who you're letting into your life. Now, there could be new love coming into your life right now, people trying to talk to you, connect with you. You might already be connected to somebody. But there's a choice that you're having to make. We can have a relationship and we can have desire for one another, but if we don't have a clear intentions about what the future is, that sometimes is the hardest choice to make. I love you, but if we're not going to grow, I can't be here. If we don't have depth in our relationship, if I don't feel like you're showing up for me and we can deepen our connection and we're not being honest with each other, how are you going to grow, Aquarius? You know, and if you're trying to grow with people who aren't being honest with you, that's going to be a problem too as well. So it feels like naturally you're starting to understand it or get it. And maybe some of you, this is a process that's about you learning to speak your truth to the people around you and not be afraid to be seen. What's trying to enter your life? The 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Abundance. Flat out abundance. Whatever you thought you could have before, you were accepting breadcrumbs. Maybe not necessarily breadcrumbs, but you were aiming your old desires and what you needed and what you thought you deserved is shifting. What you know you truly need and deserve and love is shifting. What's trying to enter your life is of more value than you even could imagine. Maybe before you were accepting less in relationships and you were okay with it because that was the version of you that thought you were even asking for too much. Who knows? But what I'm seeing here is what's shifting for you, what's trying to come in is somebody who has more to offer or a life that has more to give to you. And it's complete security. It comes with the dog, the picket fence, the security. A good life ahead, good support system, good people, good soul tribe trying to enter your life, but you got to let it in. And it looks like right now you're reevaluating what you truly deserve and desire. In love specifically, I'm seeing the 9 of Pentacles. You need somebody who's available, reliable, secure, successful, healthy, somebody who likes to enjoy life's good things. You've got the 9 and 10 of Pentacles, so it looks like somebody who is ready to join your family, be a part of this life with you, who truly desires a true divine connection, one based on authenticity and trust, not one that has no intentions of going further. You have to make that break right out the gate. Stop entertaining people that are not showing you solid intentions. All right, it doesn't matter what kind of lifestyle you have, what people, it doesn't matter what, if you have the same values and you have the same goals for your 10 of Pentacles, you will be in alignment. It does not matter. You could be in complex, difficult situations. It does not matter. Even in those difficult, complex situations, if you both are set on the same goals, you will get there. But if one is not being honest, you're wasting your time. You know what it feels like to be in a one-sided relationship. So what does Spirit think you should do? And I'm seeing the Knight of Pentacles. Keep on keeping on. Keep on working. Keep on pushing through. You're not as far. It looks like you've been doing this for a while. But this tells me here it's about focusing, discipline, and organization and commitment. And deciding, you know, where you're going to put your energy, what you're going to focus on, because the Knight of Pentacles does a lot of work and you put a lot of work into things. So you need to figure out right out the gate who you're going to work towards or work with or work for, because you often give more than you get back. And you need to, this is about you valuing your worth here. I love you guys. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini showing up for you in your reading. All right, last but not least, Pisces. I didn't do too bad on time. I went a little bit longer than I thought I would, but I did it. All right, Pisces. I love you, Lori. Have a great day, Jean. All right, Pisces. This is going to be the setup moving forward. The themes every week. What is leaving, Pisces, and what is shifting right now, and what is trying to enter your life and in love specifically? The Sun. A child. Maybe some of you, there's a child on its way, a gift on its way, a blessing on its way. You know, if some of you have been down and out or dealing with any kind of unhappiness, you have the light shining, things starting to clear up for you, right? Things are going to start looking more positive, looking better, healthier. You're getting healthier. You know, something about recouping, growing, and you have a lot of playfulness and love and energy coming towards you. So this could even bring new romance dates, love, playfulness, fun, art, creativity, entrepreneurship, you know, all the good stuff, all the fun stuff. Is trying to enter your life. Joy. What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Big hell yes. And we have the Temperance under that. So it looks like the timing is coming in for you. Wherever your life has been out of balance for too long, it looks like it's time to grow, time to move forward, time to move on from that. Look at this, 5 of Cups. What is leaving your life is the shit from your past that you're still mulling over. Any blame or guilt or shame that you're doing to yourself over the way something turned out. If you're still disappointed about a situation, or disappointed about your choices, or disappointed about how somebody has treated you, if you're afraid of relationships or connecting with people because you're truly afraid to be abandoned, this is the biggest wound, fear of abandonment. Constantly, I know a lot of you will say, I don't focus on the past, but when we're triggered, it's something from our past coming up. So a 5 of Cups is like, there's a release here that's leaving. Grief, processing. It's like you maybe finally turning around, walking away from something that you've been taking some time to process. That's been really weighing on you. Not being afraid to disappoint anybody else. Not being afraid, not shrinking yourself in relationships, or saying things softly so that you don't create any disturbances because you're afraid to disappoint people. That's leaving. So what's actually shifting right now? Look at this, Ace of Wands. Maybe some of you are already feeling this extra power, extra energy. You might have had a lot of new starts lately, new people trying to enter your life, connections, communications where you actually feel seen. Somebody's putting in the effort. They heard you. They want to talk to you. This is current. So this could be happening even all around you, behind the scenes, and still to come. But a lot of movement when it comes to people actually putting in effort, people coming to you, people talking to you, people open, people inspired by you, people seeing you. A person who values what you say and what you do, and you actually inspire them and not disappoint them the way you might fear. What's trying to come in? I see the 4 of Pentacles, and especially in love, I see the 9 of Pentacles. Being freed from having to hold on too tightly to people so quickly so you feel safe because of fear of abandonment. And I see, leveling up and feeling more secure about yourself. And you have somebody in love when, you letting go of the fear of, losing control, or somebody seeing you, or letting someone in, or you let go of the fear of being a disappointment or somebody abandoning you. You're stepping into this version of yourself that is attracting in somebody that sees you. That's your message. Sees your value. You got a very successful, single, available, somebody who wants to spend time, spend money, spend life, spend good times together. Somebody who pays attention to your routines, your patterns. They know how you work. They see you and they value you. You don't have to hold yourself back out of fear that if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, I'm going to disappoint them if they get to see the real me. No, you're being seriously pushed into leveling up here and having more self-esteem. And somebody sees you immediately. And even if you're in a current relationship, the way you see yourself is the way you're projecting the person sees you. So you might be seeing somebody who you feel like they're leaving, or they're not interested, or they're disappointed in you. But the moment you let go of that thought, you're going to see your person values you. You have opportunity too for financial improvements. Maybe some of you afraid to step out and show your creativity. Some of you afraid to let go, let loose, and be creative because maybe you're ashamed of yourself, or you're ashamed of what you can do. You don't think you're good enough, or you're afraid to be embarrassed, or you just don't think you have much to offer. Well, you're going to be surprised that you have a lot to offer, and somebody sees that. So you are advancing in career, or for some of you, if you're just thinking about getting out there, this is where Spirit is saying, God is even saying, give yourself a friggin' chance, man. You have a chance. Go for it. You could quickly advance. So I'm seeing financial freedom here too as well. You need to start seeing yourself like that Nine of Pentacles, especially if you want your person to see you as the Nine of Pentacles. You could work at McDonald's and be the Nine of Pentacles. Damn, I think McDonald's makes more than, some people with a bachelor degree, right? But you got to act it, own it, and be confident in yourself, not hold back. So I feel like what's trying to come in for you is a connection where you feel seen and safe, and you can confidently express yourself, and you can invest in it and feel emotional security and financial security. All right, so what does Spirit think you should do with all this? Relax, Four of Swords, and meditate and think about your future. What do you really want to improve in your life? What do you really want to create in your life? You're being asked to let go of the grip a little bit of what you fear the most and give something a shot, but give yourself a little bit of space and time to really think about what it is you really need and want. But I'm also getting right now for you, it's about, relaxing more into and feeling safe inside your own self and your mind and your own space. And letting the right people into your space. I love you guys. You got the Sun card. Look, that's a vacation for my Pisces. Giving yourself more space and time and not being afraid to take up space. That's important. Pisces, don't be afraid to take up space. I see the Four of Cups. I see staying quiet, silence in yourself, and afraid to expand. Take up space. We joke about it all the time. I joke about it at CrossFit all the time because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into it, but it's a wound, and it's like, when I'm dropping the heavy weights, I'm afraid to drop them too loud. I don't want to be heard, It's like this fear of just being too much or taking up too much space or being too loud or, there are people that love that about you. All right. I love you all. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed my garden. I see that you saw it. I see it on my screen. I haven't had a chance to sit down and just kind of scroll through everything. I'm being consumed with a few different things going on. But I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow in membership for third tier. If I have time, I will try and do, but I don't know if I will. I think Tuesdays have been my signs, my zodiac signs. So I'll see what I can do, and I will see you guys later. Yes. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody.